I've been waiting over 6 years to tell you guys what I'm about to tell you. Hey everybody, this is Matt and we're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for watching. You might see joy and happiness emanating from my body and from my very soul. And it's not just because I'm having a good mustache day today, which I am. It's because Stuart McDonald, Luthiery Suppliers to the World, is finally going to be offering a tool that I had this much to do with, and I'm really, really happy to tell you guys about it today. Let's see. If you are one of those kind of people who wants to jump to the end and see what happens, Stuart McDonald is going to be, I talked with the people at StewMac. For all I know, by the time you're watching this product might be available. You might be able to go and click on StewMac and buy the Inlay jig for use with their routers. It's something that I did a video about over almost, gosh, it's probably been closer to 8 years since I showed you guys this and since I had this thing. If you do Les Paul inlay and like trapezoids or blocks or something like that, and you struggle with the inlay and you really want to get them perfect every time, but you don't have a CNC machine because you're old school like me, then yeah, you're going to want this tool. So you don't have to watch the whole video. Just go to StewMac and get it. I'll leave a link in the description below. And if you buy it using that link, I'll get a couple bucks. Okay. Now, for those of you who appreciate the long format video that I generally do, you might know already that I have been, I'm a humongous fan of Gibson style instruments, set neck guitars, whether it's a Gibson Les Paul, a Hamer Special, or in this case, a TTG Hustler, this one in shocking pink, which is so excellent. But you can see there, it's got the custom kind of inlay, the block inlay. Well, if you've ever done that by hand, then you and I have some you and I have chewed some of the same dirt, as Clint Eastwood would have said in the movie Heartbreak Ridge. Okay, I remember like it was yesterday. I spent an entire weekend doing Les Paul inlay on 3 or 4 guitars, trapezoid inlays, and I'm like, man, there's got to be a better way. Because even if you get it like a little bit off, it looks like you got it way off. You might as well not have even done it unless it's exactly perfect, okay? I'm impatient. I get frustrated real easy. If this sounds like you, then you're going to want this tool, okay? So the idea was, like I said, I'm doing all these inlays, and I'm like, gosh, there's got to be a better way. So here's how you would do inlay like this in the old days when I was at Roberto Venn. Okay, what you would do is you'd glue the piece onto the fretboard, you know what I mean, like where it's going to go. You'd position it on there and you'd spot glue it on, and you'd trace around it with an X-Acto knife, or you'd have a line there, and you put chalk dust on it or whatever, and that way you could follow the line and you could grind away to the line. And what you would use is a little teeny tiny router, and in the case of what I had started using more than 35 years ago, is just your regular Dremel tool with a little bit in it. Now, you don't start hacking at it like this. What you would do back in the day is you would buy a base for it. And fortunately, the good people at Stuart McDonald have been making the precision router base for many, many years. In fact, this one is many, many years old. And what you do is you just screw your Dremel tool on. This is an old Dremel tool too. So you screw your Dremel on here, and you have, see, you got a little router to do inlay with. So this is what I would use back in the day to do inlay. 30 years ago, I don't know if this was available, but we had like these kind of other bases that I think the Dremel company made one. But if you were serious about inlay, back in the old days, this is what you would get. Actually, probably still today, this is what you would get, okay? Or something like this, all right? So I'm doing all these inlays, and I'm thinking, man, there's got to be an easier way to do this. There's got to be something that I can do to speed this up and take the pilot error out of the equation. So I'm goofing around on the internet, and I don't know how I found it. I don't know what I typed in, search or whatever, but I stumbled across this guy, Rick McGuire Guitars, okay? And Rick McGuire Guitars, I talked to Rick once, and it's been many, many years. But Rick McGuire had all these little fixtures and moto tools that he would put together, and they would operate together. And what they were bushings that would go on a little router base, and then an oversized template that the bushing would follow. Now, okay, I'm going to show you, don't worry. But this is nothing new, okay? In fact, if you walk into Home Depot right now, you can buy something that looks like this. And this is, what is it, Matt? I'm about to tell you. This is a router bushing kit, okay? And what you do is you screw this piece into your router base, and it gives you like an oversized bushing guide. The bit pokes out of this hole, okay? So let's say you have a 1/4-inch bit and it pokes out of this hole. The center of your bit and the center of this hole are the same. Follow me? So if you have an oversized template, you can use this bushing to go around the oversized template and impart the cut perfectly every time. And this is the important part, without having to have a bearing attached to the router bit. Okay, cool. So again, this is nothing new. In fact, if you buy one of Matt's sweet truss rod jigs, I presuppose that you have something like this, because that's the way that my truss rod jig is done. All right, bushings, oversized bushing, undersized bit. The center's still the same. Okay. All right. So anyway, Rick McGuire had this, had all these little things, and I thought, well, maybe I could make something, or have something made like that. And that is in fact what I did. I had a guy who I knew make me a little router base and some oversized templates, okay? So I still have the router base with a brass oversized bushing on it, okay? And it's see-through, so you can't see. But what I want you to see is that, let's see, it indexes it indexes directly onto the StewMac precision router base, because that's what I had. Okay, so I had this and this little bushing, and this machinist made me some oversized templates that that worked with this size bushing and a specific size bit. It's been so long because I don't have it anymore. I don't know what the sizes were. Okay, now, you got to remember that if you make the bit smaller or bigger, it's not going to exactly fit the piece. So what I wanted to have was a special thing that would retrofit onto a tool that I already had and work with stuff that I already had, okay? Well, then the same machinist made me, I got a pin router, and the same machinist made me a tool that basically is this giant aluminum piece here, and it kind of eliminated the need for me to have that smaller thing that I just showed you. Because what would happen is the pin router would accept this, it would do all the inlay, and it would do I could do fret slots and all that stuff. Cool. All right. But the idea of a bushing and an oversized bushing and an exactly right size bit that fit onto the precision router base from StewMac still appealed to me. And I thought, man, you know what? Just because I have a pin router doesn't mean that everybody else does. And just because I have a pin router and some other people don't, that doesn't mean that they don't want to do inlay like this easily, okay? Or with slightly less effort and considerably less margin for error. So I packed all this stuff up and I sent it off to Eric at StewMac. This was years and years and years ago. And he's like, hey, that's cool. We might want to make that. And I said, great. I don't want any money for it. What I do want, and I want you to know that Rick McGuire came up with this well before I did, okay? I looked it up. I got the idea from Rick McGuire, okay? I didn't just fabricate it out of thin air. And I told Eric all this stuff. And anyway, the idea was that if StewMac, who makes the inlay, and they make the router base, and they make this piece, or something like it, and they make some oversized templates, well, it could work in it. You would have this symbiotic thing where like everything works together, and and like you buy the inlay, you buy the router base, you buy the templates, bada bing, it works every time. That's a cool thing. Okay. Let's see. So a couple of years ago, I got some pieces from StewMac, and they were a new router base with a bushing. Okay, see right there, with a bushing, and they sent me some templates. Now, hold on, you probably can't see it because it's clear. Okay, so they sent me some templates. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but these holes here are actually quite a bit bigger than the actual inlay, and that's because this little bushing actually rides on the inside of the template. Okay, so let me see. All right, hold on a minute. Let me make sure I'm doing all this right, guys. I'm really excited about this because this is a game changer. If you don't have a CNC machine and you are old school like I am, this is going to be like something that you really dig. Okay, even though I do have a CNC machine now, but if you don't, okay, I'm talking to my buddy Greg on Friday, and he's like, well, I don't have a CNC machine. I want this. So anyhow, what you do is, let's say okay, I'm going to make it real easy. You go onto the StewMac website, you buy a slotted fretboard because you don't have the fret slotting saw, or maybe you do, but you buy the slotted fretboard. And in this instance, you buy it in 24.562 scale. Okay, this is one that this is. The one over here, this one is 24 3/4 scale. They're probably going to have lots of different scales, and they're going to have lots of different inlay things too. Okay, so you buy the slotted fretboard, you buy this thing, you double stick tape it on, or however you attach it. You buy this little guy right here and the right size router base, or I'm sorry, the right size router bit, and you take your Dremel tool that I'm assuming everybody has because they always send me things like, all I have is a Dremel tool. How do I make a guitar? You screw this dude on here, and now you have I have to figure out how this works. You have a precision, there you go, a precision router base with a precision oversized bushing that works with a precision oversized template, get in there, and that works with the precision cut inlay that StewMac sells. And guys, it couldn't be any easier if you tried. Okay, all you got to get right is the depth of the cutter, and then you just go around and do it slow enough to where you don't bust off the cutter. Okay, I mean really, it makes inlay so easy, even I want to do it. Okay. So here's the thing. I don't know what will be available, but I suspect, I've talked to my contacts at Stuart McDonald, and they're like, "Hey Matt, your mustache looks fantastic." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much. When's the new StewMac, precision router base jig and stuff for inlay coming out?" They're like, "Funny you should ask. It's coming out like Black Friday or maybe before." I'm like, "Oh, super cool. What's it going to be like?" And they go, "Well, we're going to do trapezoids, and of course they sell the inlay to go with it. We're going to do blocks because they sell the inlay that goes with it. They're even going to do dots, because okay, I know like dots are easy." Okay, but if you get dots dorked up because you get one, anytime you use like a little poker on rosewood or something, is exactly in the center, is your drill bit exactly right, you can use this tool, it'll be perfect every time. I'm pretty sure they're going to be doing lots of different scales. So like if you want to do like a Fender scale or a Gibson scale or a shorter one or like an acoustic thing, I don't know what they're going to have, but the possibilities are limited only by, the imagination of the people at StewMac. Once they got the little router base thingy, okay, and once they got these guys happening, these are made out of acrylic. They'll last forever because there's no router bit riding very close to it with a bearing or anything. These will last for forever. So you buy them once and that's it. You don't have to ever buy them again, provided you don't skip them across the parking lot, okay? But I have no idea, like, so maybe, who knows what they'll have, but these are probably the most affordable lifelong investment that you'll ever make with from StuMac for doing inlay, okay? I don't know how much these are gonna be, but they're probably gonna be fairly reasonable because, and they have scale lines on them and everything. So, I mean, because it's acrylic, okay? And of course, everything that you get from StuMac has a lifetime warranty. I cannot stress this enough, gang. I have loved working with the people from StuMac, and when they say, Matt, your mustache is just too beautiful, we can't have you anymore, I'm still gonna buy stuff from StuMac. I love the product so much. The people are super cool. If you use the link in the description below, okay, full disclosure, if you use the link in the description below, I get a little taste. If you don't, you still get the cool thing, and it doesn't cost, but I don't get anything from it. That's fine. I wanted you guys to have this, okay? When I made that video, and there's a link, I'll put a link somewhere here, maybe here, for the original video. I wasn't, I didn't have like a StuMac, I didn't know anybody at StuMac when I made that video. In fact, the name of the video is, If You're So Smart, Tell StuMac to Make This Tool, because I knew I wasn't gonna do it. Who am I? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not StuMac. Those guys have way more juice than me. So anyway, these things are super cool. And like I said, I had a teeny tiny bit of a hand in bringing this to you guys. I don't make any money off of this. It's not like, like I said, unless you use my link. So if you want to help me out, it doesn't cost you anything more, use my link, okay? Guys, this is a big day. I kind of feel like I'm finally on the map. So special thanks to the people at Stuart McDonald who have labored and really did all the legwork on this to make it cool. Okay, I sent them all my original stuff. I don't even know where it went. It disappeared into the void of where stuff happens, right? If inlay is one of those things that you are like, oh gosh, I really like it, but I really hate it, this makes doing inlay super easy. And if you're doing trapezoids or blocks, imagine like there's 22 perfectly straight lines that these inlays have to be parallel and perpendicular with, and there's strings going that are perfectly straight. And so if you get that wrong, it's gonna look like like you got it wrong, and you don't care. You can do it on, the other neat thing, if you do everything with ebony, you can just fill it in with black crud around the edges, and no one will ever know. Want to know how I know? Because that's what I used to do back in the day. I used ebony for everything, and I just mashed in black putty and filled it in, and it looked like $1 million. With this, you don't have to do that. And you could do it on rosewood or maple. Imagine you could build like a Les Paul with all maple fretboard. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you could, and the inlay would look perfect every time, okay? So guys, I urge you to go over to StuMac and look and see if it's available. I don't even know. I haven't gone over there today. It might be today, or if not, I've heard that it will be by like Black Friday, okay? Tell them your old buddy Uncle Matt sent you. I'm Uncle Matt sent you. Use my link, etc., etc. Link in the description below to my StuMac link to the old video somewhere in the past or future or present, I don't know. And you don't really need to watch the old video. You guys have all watched it. I'm just rambling, and I am so pleased that this has finally come to fruition, and I want you guys to have a great Thanksgiving. I want you to get some cool new tools and save some money. And I want you to give my friends at StuMac some love. Tell them your old buddy Uncle Matt sent you. I'm already rambling. I'm doing it again. We will see you guys next time. Have a great week, everybody. Take care.